Hi, Will and Velvet here from Freedom Rolling. It's a little bit of a rainy evening this evening, so what we'll do is talk about some of the essentials that we are going to be packing for our RV adventure.
So Will and I, we normally bulk buy our meat, but going to be living in an RV full time, we're not going to be able to buy our bulk meat. We're going to have to buy packages of meat. So we portion anyway. One piece of meat for my husband, one piece of meat for me. So that will be a transition that we won't have to worry about because we're already doing it. But the Norcold freezer that we have is decent size, so we'll be able to make sure that we have enough meat to last us at least a couple of weeks. So on that hand, I'm going to shift it over to Will to explain the next one.
So, it's not just Velvet and I eating. Also, this little pup over here also needs to have some food. So the good news is that we still have one of our little totes to be able to carry most of our dry food, and we'll also be having some packages of wet food that we'll be able to get along the way to make sure that she's properly fed and also properly watered. So one other thing that we really have to worry about is clothing. Isn't that right?
Yes. So with us going into different climates, we need to make sure that we have clothes that suit every single climate. So making sure that you have that sweatshirt even though you're down south where it's a little warmer, or making sure you have that tank top for that weird spring day up in the northwest or northeast.
Now, one other thing that we are pretty concerned about, making sure that we have essentials packed for, is energy. That is pretty much an essential for everyone. With an RV, that's going to be our propane tanks. Now, we're going to need our propane tanks to pretty much run everything on our RV when we're not at a campground hooked up to their electric and water. And we're also going to need the propane to be able to use our grill. Now, and speaking of grilling, the kitchen is also pretty important. Isn't that right, honey?
Yes, the kitchen is my domain. Besides the grill. The grill, I let him completely take over. So, I have this wonderful kitchen gadget that Will and I bought when we were still living in an apartment. It's called a NuWave. It's a hot plate that you have, and it cooks on induction. So it's got to have a special bottom in order to cook, but it will work well because it's small. We can store it anywhere, and we have the pans for it. So that leads me into...
Well, other kitchen stuff, we'll also be having some of our smaller gadgets, like immersion blenders, magic bullets, that kind of stuff. We'll go into more of our kitchen things at a later video. But for now, we'd like to remind you to visit our website at freedomrolling.com. Also visit social media, and remember, follow your internal compass.